people out there waiting to see her fail and still keeping her composure as a rookie and leading this team has been a beautiful thing to see.
June, she's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame.
Caitlin Clark is leading the league in points and assists, but there's one stat that's not on the board: unfair calls against her. It's like she's playing against two teams, the opponent and the refs. Want to know how bad it really is? Stick around. Imagine this. The WNBA's newest sensation, Caitlin Clark, takes a punch to the face. Doesn't it seem like a straightforward choice? That's not correct. The referees gave Caitlin an interference. Saying an automobile struck a wall is equivalent. What's the status of these referees? Think of it as a bad thing? A face-punching elbow? Just wait until you see what happens next. The hit itself is not as crucial as what came after it. The official's choice at that precise moment ignited a scandal that is trembling the league to its core. Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, the newest phenomenon in the WNBA, is attempting to go to the basket. Is she not simply limitless? That's not correct. Then, all at once, pow! An elbow touches her face.
Vicious assault. Boom, right there. Right there. And then she tried to act like, well, I'm going to help you up.
The vista is unhindered. The whole arena saw it. You would think that this is an easy choice, wouldn't you? This is when things start to go crazy. Rather than calling a foul on Clark, the refs called an aggressive foul. Yes, it was true what you heard. She receives a fine for somehow elbowing someone in the face. How on earth is it even understandable? Everyone bursts into cheers. Everyone is amazed here on the field. Social media? What about it? It explodes. The question that everyone wants to know is, what game are they even watching? Look at the replay, please. There is no mistaking the elbow contact. It's hard to say that this constitutes an offensive foul. That's not all, though. Later on, Clark receives another hit. The officials don't make any calls at first on this occasion. After reviewing the play in the fourth quarter, it was decided to call it a flagrant foul. How completely incoherent. Is there anything more peculiar still? This is going to happen more than once. This season, Clark has consistently experienced this kind of treatment. She gets hit, held, and shoved a lot during the game.
Surrounding the foul heard around the world, the latest foul heard around the world, from a WNBA player on to Caitlin Clark. And I'm sorry, but the more and more that I see this video, I mean, there's nothing about this that's not intentional. I don't give a damn.
Moreover, she is the one who typically receives a foul call. Not even Clark is remaining silent about it. Is it any surprise that she's upset? It appears that the officials are attempting to obstruct her during her competition. She called it quite a bit of contact during games, which has led to some really unexpected calls. That thing with the elbow. This is only the tip of the iceberg. It's becoming clear that the WNBA has a deeper structural problem. Everyone, it appears like there's a pattern here. Improperly handling one of the league's top players on a regular basis. Remind yourself of that. If the officials can't even get it right for a great like Clark, I don't know what's going on with the rest of the league. This puts the caliber of officiating in women's basketball in question. But hear me out. Clark isn't benefiting from this entire argument. Things are finally surfacing that have been simmering under the radar for a while. A lot of individuals, including commentators, fans, and players, are speaking up. They want the officiating to be better, more consistent, and fair to all players. Treating every player equally is commendable, but think about this. What if you are a star player and therefore a target? Caitlin Clark's situation highlights a dilemma that has the WNBA scratching its head. It goes well beyond just one bad call or one game. Attention everyone! The key to this is a pattern, a trend that leaves players, fans, and analysts scratching their heads. We can make things simpler. Clark has fielded several really suspicious calls this season. This is not about the occasional missed call. That is something that happens to everyone. I apologize, but this is special. Every time Clark walks onto the court, it seems like the referees are fixated on her. Remind yourself of that. Clark is playing with such passion and intensity that there's no holding her back. Instead of applauding her intense competitiveness, the officials are penalizing her technically just for showing her feelings. Do you believe that to be true? It's like they're trying to put out the spark that fires her extraordinary playing. However, things now start to turn bizarre. Because of her quick ascent to stardom, some have even gone so far as to refer to Clark as having a target on her back. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? Let me clarify. It seems like her accomplishments are impeding her development.
Well, I just want to continue to see her growth for us being a leader, right? We know that she could hoop. We know that she could score the ball. We know that she can make others around her better.
The referees seem to be studying her intently the more cameras are rolling. Is there anything more peculiar still? There have been conjectures that Clark's notoriety is making the referees punish her harsher, like they were trying to prove they are not supporting any particular party over another. If they do this, though, they run the risk of going too far in the opposite direction. At this point, I'm not saying Caitlin Clark is the object of a big conspiracy. Still, it's hard to ignore the fact that something is wrong with this. It's about more than just Clark now. This incident is bringing to light deeper issues inside the WNBA. Remind yourself of that. If the referees are handling one of the league's best players in this manner, what is going on with the other players? This raises questions about the officiating's general caliber. Are the other players not receiving equal treatment, or is it just me? Is it because Clark is in the public eye that we are now able to recognize this structural issue? But the most amazing part is yet to come. Clark had no desire to be the one to divulge all the details. Through playing her game, she's just trying to help her team win. But all these questionable calls turn her become an unwitting whistleblower. She's bringing attention to matters that have probably lain dormant for a while. Plus, guess what? I think that's quite amazing. Inadvertently, Clark is stirring things up in the WNBA. Many people are interacting with her, asking for better treatment and wanting to know more. The entire league is beginning to take notice of her, and her influence is beginning to extend beyond her basketball playing career.
People out there waiting to see her fail and still keeping her composure as a rookie and leading this team has been a beautiful thing to see.
June, she's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame.
Yes, Clark is making a lot of noise, but that's hardly the most ridiculous thing about it. Is it not true that she is becoming stronger because of all this drama? The one thing that is altering everything, the key to Clark's success, is being disregarded by everyone. You would assume that all of these harsh calls would have a negative impact on Clark's mental health. Not at all.
The hype that she had, the expectations she had to live up to, packing out arenas on a day-to-day basis.
To see Caitlin surrounded by the players that are already on the Indiana team because, her vision is next level.
This girl possesses extraordinary bravery. If everyone else is obsessed with the refs, Clark is focused only on winning. Imagine this. Clark finds himself at the free throw line at this crucial point in the game. The crowd is obviously still in shock at the prior erroneous call, as evidenced by their obvious rage. But Clark? Her manner is calm. She stated, "I need to make these 2 free throws, which is why this is so important to me. I have nothing else on my mind at the moment." Whoa, that's a strong mentality. But this is when the interesting part starts. Clark isn't ignoring these awful calls. They provide her with fuel. Every time there appears to be a questionable call by the officials, Clark tends to up the ante. She's winning because she's competing against the system as a whole rather than other teams anymore. Is there anything more peculiar still? Clark's personality is growing. She energizes everyone on her team. Clark's squad is sticking together and not arguing with the referees, in contrast to other teams. Compared to before, they are playing with greater coherence, intelligence, and energy. What about the fans? They're spellbound. Clark is emerging as a great hero as a result of her extraordinary strength. Young admirers in the bleachers are attempting to imitate her ferocity and commitment in addition to simply wearing her shirt. She is becoming well known not only for her basketball career, but also as an inspiration for overcoming adversity. But we ought to talk about what this means for the WNBA. The league as a whole is adjusting to Clark's new playing philosophy. Her ability to remain composed in the face of difficulty and to continue giving extraordinary performances? We're setting a new benchmark. Remember the game against the Dallas Wings? Clark played admirably, but she went all out, scored 35 points, a career high, to shatter the rookie scoring record.
A career night for her, 35 points. Can you believe that? She also breaks the WNBA rookie record with over 750 career points.
You go back and think about what we could have got there, what we couldn't have got, and I thought it was a great shot, honestly, and me and Christy talked about it. That's something you live with if you make it.
All of this occurred while dealing with really questionable officiating. That is just outstanding basketball that goes above and beyond. I want you to know that Clark is not doing this by himself. Her co-workers are always the center of attention when she speaks to the media. She's refocusing the spotlight, sharing it. In a culture where superstars are all too ready to believe their own hype, Clark is a prime example of true leadership. However, what about the real pioneer? It's the manner in which Clark is handling the intense scrutiny. She has raised awareness of the league's structural issues through her voice, not just the refs. As she develops into a change agent, people are paying attention to her. Remind yourself of that. What does Clark's potential look like if she can pull this off under such heavy scrutiny? What does this mean for the future of women's basketball generally? Clark's performance is exceptional. She's taking it to the next level.